morning, is it from Zetster's Lab? Let me promise you something. Whatever you are going through, it cannot be that bad. Think about it again. Whatever you're going through, it cannot be that bad. How bad can it be? I went outside and I found my lavender bush. And just look at this. Isn't it gorgeous? I mean, this is just a little piece of the bush that I plucked, and it just, as I was plucking them, this phrase just came up and it just said, it cannot be that bad. Life cannot be that bad. And that made me remember of another thing. Yesterday I read something my friend Robert wrote on Facebook. And he said he was phoning a friend, and when the friend answered, he could hear the friend was not a happy chappy. So he said, "What's wrong?" And the friend answered, "I'm busy packing up, I'm eating a pizza, I'm just resting, busy packing up my home, I lost my home. So I'm now moving back to my parents' house." And you know what? Robert could have said, "Oh, shame, it's terrible, life sucks, and shame," and you know, he could go on about the government or the reasons for being in that situation. But instead of feeding those negativity, he said, "Wow, it's so good you still have parents that's alive." He said, "Mine's passed on, I don't have parents." And he said, "And it's wonderful that you have food to eat. I mean, you're eating a pizza. Many people are dying of hunger." And he said, "And it's wonderful you still have a vehicle, a car. And many people don't have any vehicles anymore. And he said, you're strong enough and healthy enough to pick up all your stuff and put it in your pickup truck." He said, "And you know what? You're not sick. You've got the health and the strength to pick up all these things, pack up all your things." And he said, "You've got things. Isn't it awesome? You've got stuff. Lots of people don't have anything. You've got stuff that you can take to your parents. You've got family that loves you enough, that open their house to you so that you can move in." You see the difference? He said after he spoke to his friend and the friend said bye, the friend was a changed person. Gone was the doom and gloom, and instead he felt peace and happiness in the midst of the trial he's going through. Now, that also made me think, you know what? The circumstances that we need to face and go through, some are really tough. Let's talk about disease, sickness, losing loved ones, losing your home, whatever it may be. Yes, life really can be tough, but you know what kills you? It's not the tough situations that kill you. It's your attitude towards the situations. It's how you feel, what you allow to enter while you're going through those tough situations. That is what kills you. It's not the situation. And that is a major thing we need to remember. Every single time we go through a tough situation, we've got a choice. How are we going to react to that? That's the only choice we have. Are we going to be in sackcloth and wanting to slit our wrists or whatever? Are we going to allow the doom and gloom to totally destroy us? Slowly but surely, slowly but surely, the things that kills you is your emotions and your feelings and your mind and your beliefs telling you all these terrible things. It's not the situation. So whatever situation you're going through, that's not your enemy. The enemy is once again your mind, your emotions, your feelings. Who are you going to believe? And my friend Robert, he just took that situation and that things that was keeping his friend hostage, that fear, resentment, anger, despair, whatever it was, he just nullified that with the truth. There's always, always, always things to be thankful for. But it's much easier, believe you me, I know I'm preaching to myself here. It's much easier to fall to despair. It's much easier to listen to the ego, to your mind, to the things of this world that tells you, oh, poor you, oh, and the self-pity creeps in, and the hate and the resentment, because you immediately places what's happening to you. It's not your fault, it's everybody else's fault. And that's not the issue. The issue is how you react to that. And I just realized once again, whenever we feel that spirit of heaviness, dread, doom and gloom, self-pity, whenever that spirit starting to get hold of you, we got to, if we ever want to experience peace and joy in heaven on earth, our job is to immediately counterattack that with the truth, with those things that we have to be thankful for. And the same with Robert's friend, if we do that and keep doing that, the heaviness will live, and the life in us, remember, the life, abundant life, is already in us, and that life is all that we need to live victoriously through this realm, whatever we need to face, whatever circumstances we need to face. And but when we listen to the ego and allow the negative things to get a hold of our souls, then we block the life in us. We put a lid to the life in us. And that is when things like sickness and I don't know what, a lot of other stuff gets hold of us. Depression, fear, hate towards others in our situations and whatever. But when we counterattack that, and when we open that lid of the abundant life in us, the life in us starts to flow through us, and we experience peace and joy and power and provision and wisdom, whatever we may need to get through our situation, this moment. I also read another thing this morning, and the man said, there is no tomorrow. Don't worry about the tomorrows. There's no tomorrow. You don't need a tomorrow to be happy now. Why? Because now we have all that we need to get through whatever situation we are in. Situations right now. In us, we've got the abundant life. All wisdom, all provision, everything that we need, all joy and peace and unconditional love, patience, strength, whatever we need to get through this minute. But now we start to live in the future and believe the future is going to be better in the future. It's never going to be better tomorrow or in the future. Why? Because that's also going to be this moment now. When you find yourself there, you still have yourself. What your feelings, your emotions, your beliefs, your hates, your angers, self-pity, fear, whatever you are struggling with now, it's going to be there too if you don't deal with them now. So your fight is never, ever, ever situations, people, or the outside world. Your fight's always inside. And the only way that you can ever overcome whatever you're going through now, and I talk emotionally, soulishly, spiritually, whatever, is by counterattacking, by counting your blessings. You need to start counting those things that can uplift you out of this despair, out of the hell that you're in. Because believe you me, there's only one heaven and one hell that's in you. Both of those things are in you. And you're either in the one or the other, depends what you believe, what you are clinging to, what you are accepting. If you're accepting the poor me, doom and gloom, hate, resentment scenario, the scenario of I don't want to be here, I need to get out of this, I hate the people. And if you're in that, my friend, that's spiritual hell, right here, right now. Why do you think people commit suicide and they kill other people and they murder and steal and do the terrible things that they do? It's out of this hell that they are in. And our job is to get people out of the hell that they are in now. How? By exactly what my friend Robert did. By counterattacking that, by pulling them out of hell, by putting their focus on what they have to be thankful for. So yes, that's our job. That's the only job. Our job is not to fight circumstances and to fight people and to, I always say, and I always get myself also at that place, I don't want to feed the negative and the dark, call it darkness, that is keeping others hostage. I don't want to be a part of it, because immediately when I do and I buy into that, they drag me down in their hell with them. And there I sit, then I need to try and get out. And that is very, very hard. Believe you me, when you are bound in that terrible self-pity and anger and fear and resentment and doom and gloom, and you find yourself in that terrible darkness, it's very hard to get out. So don't allow yourself to be dragged down by other people that's already down. You've got the power, and the power is to pull them out by telling them it's not so bad. Look what you've got to be thankful for. Just look closely to your life. Look at your loved ones. Look at your life. So yes, today I'm looking at my life and I am feeling and experiencing and just smelling and just making myself full. I'm all alone. Albie went into town, he's now busy in this office. But this morning I was all alone and I was just contemplating all these things. I was busy crocheting. I'm busy crocheting hubby a sweater. But you know me with my colorful stuff and all the textures and stuff. So it's it's kind of difficult for me to tone it down a little bit for him, you know. I don't want him to look like a Christmas tree as well. So I was busy crocheting, and I was busy listening to beautiful music on YouTube. And then I needed to take my washing out, and I was standing there, and I just saw this bush, my lavender bush, full of blooms. And I ran inside, got the scissors, and I just went and I plucked this beautiful bush. And as I say, that makes me just realize nothing can be so bad. Nothing. Just change your mind, change your focus from the doom and gloom and heartache and pains. And yes, there are terrible things happening in this world, also in your world and in my world. There are tough situations, and it is very, very easy, much easier to get dragged down with that than to walk in the light. Sorry to say, but the ego wants to be full of hate and anger and resentment. The ego of us wants to lift us up and say, oh, you are special and all the others are against you and you must fight for you and blah, blah, blah. But the abundant life in us, our true life, is for unconditional love. Is unconditional love. So deep down we are all unconditional love. And what we have in us is enough to draw ourselves out of hell, plus all our friends and people that comes over our daily path now. So now life happens. Now I am telling you, this day, whatever you're going through, nothing is so bad. You've got the abundant life leading you, guiding you, providing for you, making you a vessel that will be able to pull others out of the hell that they find themselves in. The hell that's always in their minds. So you've got what it takes to pull yourself out and others and start living in the abundant life that is ours every second of every day. Peace and joy in the midst. Abundant life. Yeah. So yes, my friend, whatever you may be going through, life is still life, and you've got in you everything you need to live victoriously in this moment. Just slow down. Just go and sit. Just make a cup of tea or a cup of coffee and just slow down. Start to breathe. I mean, this breathing thing, every time I feel myself, my mind starting to race around like a headless chicken, running to and fro in this world, listening to everything that's going on, I start to breathe deeply. And by breathing in and out, I just come back into this moment. It brings me back into this moment, into the now, into where I am right now. It stills my mind. It brings me back into this moment. And it allows me to connect with the abundant life in me. And that is victory. That is freedom and victory of the things of this world. So slow down, make your cup of tea, start to breathe, get into this moment and start to look for those things in your life that you can be truly thankful for, and dwell on that until the enemy that's holding you captive in your mind flees. Have a fantastic day, Zed from Zedster's Lab. I'm now going to make lunch for hubby. And just life is good. Why? so much to be thankful for. Love you lots. You got this, we got this.